Welcome to our class on cooking with oils. So let's talk about why would you even want to cook with oils? And let's talk about the importance of what we cook with. Let me see if I can shut down all these noisy things that are making noises on my computer. I apologize. There we go. Okay. Just mute it for a second. Can you hear me okay still? All right, so first of all, let's talk about quality of essential oils. So obviously everyone's cooked with spices forever. So cooking with spices is not a new thing. But when you cook with oils, there's a big difference in what you put in your body. So, in an ideal world, you're cooking with organic spices. So you're not spraying, you're putting pesticides into your food. Same thing with oils, right? We need to be very careful that the oils that we use in our food are safe to be ingested. So let's talk about that for a second. So in the US, we have a line called the Vitality line. It never existed until about 4 years ago because all of Young Living oils are safe for ingestion. But the FDA came to Young Living and said, we know you're safe for ingestion and we know you're safe for topical usage, but you need to be labeled either as a cosmetic, which is topical use, or as a supplement for internal use. So when you buy a bottle of lemon Vitality and a bottle of regular lemon that has the colored label, there's literally no difference in what is inside the bottle. So I just first want to say that. So if you don't have a Vitality version on hand, or if you're in a country that doesn't have Vitality, it's all good. It's all the same plants, all the same materials. So first of all, let's start with that. So why would you want to cook with essential oils versus spices? So I'm going to speak from my perspective is that I often don't have a lot of planning that goes into play with my food in my house. And so at the last minute, I'll be like, what meat do I have on hand? What do I feel? What are my kids in the mood for? Right. And so if a recipe calls for a certain spice, or a certain food that I don't have on hand, like ginger is a perfect example, or dill or cilantro, I can grab essential oil off my countertop and I can use it so that I don't have to sacrifice a recipe that I'm at the last minute making. So it's really nice to have it on hand. The other is that spices go bad, right? If you have spices on hand for a long time, they lose their flavor, but essential oils don't. Yes, they evaporate, if you leave the lid off, but they don't go bad, right? They're not having spoiled essential oils. So you can keep bottles of spice oils on hand forever, and you always have them at your countertop to use. In addition, if you start to do the math on how much it would cost you, especially for fresh spices or garnishes, you'll find that it's way less expensive to use essential oils than it is to always, especially with how quickly they go bad. So that's another reason. And the other thing is that we know that an herb is about 1 million times, in many cases, less potent than an essential oil. So you need a lot less of it. And the health benefits are much higher with an essential oil. So, and here's a little cool science tip for you, is that essential oils, especially when we're talking about citrus oils, they are 100% bioflavonoids, which means that they help your body absorb vitamin C, which we know how important vitamin C is right now. So just by adding some lemon oil or lime oil or whatever you want to, like your salad dressing or your smoothie or whatever it may be, you're actually increasing your body's absorption of vitamin C. Pretty cool. Okay, so I'm going to hand it off in a second to Shelly, because Shelly is like the chef and the baker and all the things. But I'm going to talk just real fast about what are some of the categories of things that I personally use oils in my home. We add to drinks all the time, to cocktails that are either mocktails or regular cocktails. That's really fun to do, to flavor things. I've made a martini with dill oil. I've made one with grapefruit. I make salad dressings. I always make my salad dressings with essential oils. In fact, I love to put lemon essential oil in my salad dressing. My favorite salad dressing is just apple cider vinegar, organic, with the mother, because it's such a healing thing to put in your body. An organic olive oil, cold pressed, and then citrus oils and spices. I love lemon. That's just my favorite. But if I use lemon oil versus a fresh lemon, I can keep it in the pantry all the time. So instead of my salad dressing getting hard and gooky in the fridge, there's nothing in it that has to be refrigerated if I use lemon essential oil versus fresh lemon. So that's awesome. I just keep it in the pantry and it's ready to easily pour on whenever I eat salad, which is often. Smoothies is a great one. In the winter, I love like a cinnamony smoothie. In the summer, I like it more pepperminty, fresh and awakening. Hot chocolate, my kids love it when I do like a peppermint hot chocolate with just a little bit of peppermint in it. Marinating your meats is a great thing to do with oils, because when you marinate your meat in the oil, the flavor of the spices gets all the way through the meat versus just the outer layer of the meat. So for instance, Thanksgiving, which I know most of you don't have, but in the US, Thanksgiving is a huge deal. And I brined a turkey with salt water and essential oils for like 3 days. And my family was going nuts over how amazing the flavor was all the way through the turkey. So that's a great thing to do. Sauces, especially if you don't have the right spices on hand. Desserts, I love to make homemade chocolate. So I love to make like a peppermint homemade chocolate, super good. If you want to flavor a whipped cream or some kind of a cream that you like dip fruit in or do as like a special treat. And then I heard a really cool tip the other day, easy ones. Another 2 more easy ones is that flavored salts, which also make really fun gifts. So you can make a sea salt put oils in it and shake it up. And then you can shake a salt on something and it has like a flavor to it. Same thing with olive oils, and these make really lovely gifts too. So a flavored olive oil you can use for a gift, but also just anytime you make a salad dressing, you can already have that flavoring already in it. But I wanted to tell you this cool trick I heard the other day, and it was on one of our calls in case you missed it, is a friend of mine who in the afternoon when she gets in that hunger slump when she needs a snack, she soaks an apple, she slices an apple and soaks it in water with cinnamon oil. And then when she eats it, it curbs her sugar cravings, because that is a benefit of cinnamon essential oil, is that it curbs your cravings. And then you also taste like you're eating a cinnamon candy apple, which is just yummy as well. So those are some quick tricks. I'm gonna send this out with the recording, but I want to quickly share something with you before I hand over to Shelly for like the meat of all the things that she does that are amazing. So this is a quick chart. So if you are like, I actually am going to print and laminate this for my kitchen because I am always looking for this, and this time I'm going to get smart about it. But if you are low on a spice and you are just like, well, how much should I use? Well, you can look at it and see how many teaspoons or tablespoons the recipe calls for, and then you'll know how much essential oil to put it. So when you see TPD, it means toothpick. So what you do is you stick a toothpick in that center hole of your essential oil, and then you just mix it in. And then you can always add more that way, but that's a great way to not over season, especially with really strong oils like oregano. Thyme is another one that can be a very strong oil. So I like to just dip my toothpick in, and you can use both sides of the toothpick as you add, and then kind of taste and see how much flavor. And then the other thing is I was going to say is if you want to, ideally, if you want to preserve the health benefits of that essential oil, you just want to, after you're done cooking it, add the flavor in if you want the health benefits of like a marinara sauce or something like that. Obviously, if you're going to marinate your meat in something, you're going to cook it afterwards, but the meat does, at least it retains the flavor of it. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Shelly.
Hi, everyone. I think Ellie's touched base on everything I was going to talk to you about today, but it's okay. So the most important point that I want to stress is that when you are cooking with essential oils is to not, when you're cooking with them and you're using heat, you've got to remember that you're not going to have any more of the medicinal values of them. So you must bear that in mind when you're using them. For example, I love to make my own homemade tomato pasta when I make my lasagna, or I make a spaghetti bolognese, or if I'm just making a nice like tomatoey oniony sauce. So I just put that in the oven, and I drizzle olive oil over it, black pepper and salt, and my tomatoes and my onions, and I let it bake in the oven. And then I take it out, let it cool down, and I puree it, and I'll add either a drop of basil or a drop of marjoram, or a drop of oregano. It all depends on what it is that I'm feeling like with the sauce, because like, as the woman of the house, we get to rule the kitchen. Yeah. So it's all about what you are feeling like, or which one of the herbal oils are calling to you. But it's also about experimenting. And I know a lot of us don't have time to really experiment, but if you want to really choose your flavor, you need to experiment with the different oils. And even with the tomato paste that I make, I even use black pepper sometimes, but like Ellie said, it's a toothpick. It's not a drop or two or three. It really is a toothpick. And I learned that the hard way the one day when I made cinnamon toast for my son the one morning, and I was beating the egg and I was getting ready, and I put 2 drops of cinnamon bark oil in, and I put the bread in, and I fried it, and I was like really happy with the smells were amazing. Put a little bit of maple syrup on it, or honey is what we do. You guys have maple syrup. And I gave it to my son, and he took a bite and he was like, tastes good, Mom, but water, Mom, water. And then I realized that I'd made it too hot for him. So the next time we did it, we did a toothpick. I just dipped a toothpick into my oil bottle, and I put the toothpick into the egg mixture, and I just twirled it around, and it was perfect. I didn't even use any cinnamon spice because the oil was enough. Like Ellie said, I love cooking, but one of my big one of the things that I do to generate an income is baking. So where I use my oils here is I do use them in my lemon blueberry cake to bake it, but I know that the health benefits are not there anymore because my oven is baking. In America, I think it's 375 degrees Fahrenheit, and in South Africa, it's 180 degrees. So therefore, I've killed any medicinal values that are going to be put into my body, but the flavor is still there. So no problem. I solve the problem when I make my icing sugar, and I put about 30 drops of lemon oil into my icing sugar. And the one day I made a gluten-free cake for a customer, and she's also an oiler. And I told her that I put lemon oil in, and she was like, okay, perfect, awesome. And the next day she came back and said to me, you know, Shirley, your cake was so light and fluffy, but I have to tell you that even though it was gluten-free, it felt like it digested better. Like I didn't have any issues afterwards. I didn't feel heavy. It just felt like it really digested. And we all know that lemon oil helps with digestion. So when you're baking or cooking, you must bear in mind the health benefits of what you are using. So like if I'm going to have red wine, also a very good tip is to take your cinnamon bark oil, dip your toothpick in, and swirl it around in your wine. Oh, it is so delicious. Yum. You have got to try that. And another very good recipe that I've had amazing feedback on is I'll just buy the brownie mix from Woolworths, Pick and Pay. I'm sure in America you buy a box of brownie mix, and I bake it normal, and then I will melt some dark chocolate over the double boiler on my stove, and I let it cool a little bit, and then I add 2 to 3 drops of peppermint oil, and I mix that in, and I spread that on top of the brownies. And I've really had some awesome feedback on these are the best brownies they have ever tasted. And I usually make them for my workshops when I have people coming over, so they can really get the whole full experience. And like I said, the feedback is phenomenal. So give it a try and you'll see what I'm talking about. And the other thing that I have done this year for Mother's Day is I've selected 10 people off of my downline, and I've written them a little card for Mother's Day, and I've attached a sachet of hot chocolate and a little sample of peppermint oil and a little card that gives a bit of benefits about the peppermint oil. And I've sent it off for them for Mother's Day to get the whole experience of how amazing a drop of peppermint oil is in your hot chocolate. And we mustn't forget the health benefits doesn't just taste good, but it's good for our digestion. So those people who have eaten a big meal at night and then you make brownies with peppermint oil, or you give them a hot chocolate with peppermint oil, know that you are doing their digestive system good. The other thing that I've done is also made some salad dressings, like Ali said. When a salad dressing, especially now in America, when it's coming into summer and it's nice and hot, I really enjoy making like I don't know if papaya, do you call papaya? Okay. So I like to make a papaya, orange, cashew, caramelized cashews, and I make an orange salad dressing with mustard dill. So I take some pure orange juice, some vinegar, some mustard seeds, and I just shake it all up in my salad shaker, and I add a few drops of my orange oil, and it's just so refreshing. And also knowing that orange also has some benefits for digestion, I'm giving my family and my visitors are coming the whole full experience of having a good salad and knowing that it's doing something good for their digestive system. Yay me! So that's just one of the things. So if you get a salad dressing that calls for one of the citrus oils or one of the herbs that we use, like the parsley, I think it's called, it's not called parsley. Is it called parsley in America? Okay, so you'll get a parsley oil, you get the dill oils, and all the herbal oils, and you just have to substitute a drop of those oils, and you can experiment and taste and see what works for you and your family. Also, to use dill with fish, amazing. You put your oil in, you drop a drop of dill in instead of spreading the dill all over on the fish, and you just spread the oil over. It's like Ali said, that you can make your own olive oil infused oils. And my cousin came to visit me 2 weeks ago, and she said to me she had the most amazing ice cream. It was olive oil infused lemon. So, and they poured this over the ice cream, and she said it was out of this world. Like, I'm still like going, I don't know, I'll try that, but okay. Maybe I'll experience it by adding some of my lemon oil in and giving it a go and seeing how good it is, because she really raved about it. The other thing that I've used is rosemary. When I've made my baked olives in the oven, obviously I destroy the therapeutic abilities of the oils, but the flavor is awesome. I just pre-boil some potatoes on the stove. You can do baby potatoes or normal potatoes. I haven't tried it with sweet potatoes. I just do normal potatoes. And then I I cut like a cross into them, and I push them up, and I add some olive oil into a bowl, and I pour a few drops, not a few, okay, don't get me wrong. Go low, go slow. Best thing to do with cooking. And I put about 2 or 3 drops of rosemary oil in, and I put my black pepper and my salt, my coarse sea salt, all over the potatoes, and then I brush the olive oil mix that I've done over the potatoes, and I bake them. And then to get the therapeutic benefits of it, when I take the potatoes out, I just let them cool a bit, and I then take the olive oil and rosemary again afterwards, and I brush it over the potatoes. And Bob's your uncle. After the lemon blueberry cake, the way you make your icing is you cream your butter and your icing together, and you get an amazing creamy consistency. The key is not to overbeat your icing to get that nice creamy texture. So I would say beat your icing and your butter for about 5 minutes. And then once everything's beaten, then you add your oils, and then just beat for like about 10 seconds just to incorporate the oils evenly into the icing sugar. And I don't add any lemon grind. I don't add any lemon juice, because my lemon oil is perfect. And you can do this as well with the orange, with an orange cake as well. It's really, really delicious. And if you don't want to make your buttercream icing with an orange cake, and you want that melted like sugar that's just running over the cake, just always remember to allow your mixture to cool, not to get to room temperature or to go cold, but just to get to a point where it's warm and you add your oils in. Because I can't reiterate enough that you are destroying the therapeutic value of the oils if you are going to heat them up. Another amazing thing that I love to do in summer is I love to make either mock cocktails with watermelon, or you make a vodka cocktail with watermelon, and you zhuzh up all your watermelon and you add your mint leaves, and you can then zhuzh it all up, and then you add 2 drops of your peppermint oil to the mock cocktail or the vodka cocktail, and it just gives it that most amazing taste. And even if you're having a workshop and you want to do something for your guests to experience the whole oily feeling, you can take normal apple juice and you put mint leaves in the apple juice and you drop 1 or 2 drops of peppermint, and you can put 1 or 2 drops of peppermint even like 2 liters of apple juice. I promise you it's more than enough. That stuff goes very far. If you put too much in, it's going to be potent. Might just knock everyone back and they might just wake up. So take it easy, go low, go slow. So I think I've discussed everything that I wanted to say tonight, but when a recipe calls for anything fresh, experiment with your oils, because you are not only going to get the flavor, you're going to get the therapeutic value. And I was reading some quotes about, while I was doing some research for the call tonight, but not that I needed it because I just spoke about my recipes, but I came across an amazing quote. It said, so many people spend their health gaining wealth, then have to spend their wealth to regain their health. So why not incorporate everything into one, that while you're preparing your food, you have the objective in mind for it to taste good and also to improve your health. Then you won't have to spend your wealth on your health. And then there was also another point that I wanted to share, is that one of the great properties of essential oils is that they absorb toxins. So our oils like citrus oils, our fennel, for our liver, and so many other benefits of so many of the other oils. Again, let's use them in our food to help absorb these toxins, because in today's society, there has never been as many man-made chemicals as what there is out there. And we are ingesting them, whether we're trying our best to not do it and we're being so conscientious of it. But if we can use our oils to actually absorb these toxins that are being put into everything that we are consuming or touching every single day, and to eliminate them from our bodies, we're doing ourselves a favor. We're doing our endocrine systems a favor. We're doing our mental health a favor. We're doing our digestive system a favor. And I just think we need to be conscientious of when we're making food, because we express our love through food. And I mean, I can't stop thinking about that movie, Pray Love, Eat Love. The third one I can't remember. But everything that we put into our mouths is, we got to be conscious of what we're doing. And I know it's not always the best. Sometimes we choose bad things. But again, I read a quote today. What was it now? We shouldn't worry about the piece of chocolate cake that we're eating, because there are so many more other harmful toxins out there. So we need to enjoy what we are eating and enjoy the preparation of it, because thank you, Nicolene. Because what we put into our food is what we get out. And so many people say to me they can't cook, or everything they make is terrible. And it's your energy that you're putting into your food as you're cooking it is the reason why it'll either be fabulous or fantastic. And have you ever had a day where you've rushed around the kitchen and things have just been falling apart and you just can't get it together because you haven't had a great day, and all that energy goes into your food, and then you're taking that food and you're putting it into your mouth and it tastes awful? But when you've had a great, fantastic day, you can't believe how amazing it actually tastes. And what I'm basically saying is that what you put in is what you get out. So it's not only about the health concept that you're putting in or thought behind in what you're putting into your food. It's also your energy, your frequency. So if you want to prepare a good meal for your family, we need to consider two things: the health benefits and the emotional benefits, because the frequency you're putting into that food is what your whole family is going to be digesting. So that's just my little input on tonight's call. Love cooking with my oils, and I love experimenting, and I can't wait until we get more of the herbal oils from the States. We're very lucky to have a few of them, so I've been able to experiment. But never give up, ladies. Just keep on trying, keep on experimenting. You're going to get the recipe that works for you. Thanks, Ellie.
Thank you so much, Shelley. That was awesome. Loved it. I had a couple of things I wanted to add that I forgot to talk about, just to throw a couple bugs in your ear. If you're a popcorn family, if you like to eat popcorn, I love to put either dill's my favorite because I'm just obsessed with dill personally. Like I like anything to taste like a pickle. But you could also do black pepper in there, or you could make it more sweet, and you could do like cinnamon and orange or something. And what you do is you cook your popcorn. I like to make mine in what's called a whirly popper, and I make it in coconut oil, and then I melt butter. And then after the butter is melting, I put the oils in the butter and pour it on top. That's a good one. And then I also just made some fermented carrots, but I love to make sauerkraut and things like that. So you can add it into your ferment so that your veggies are like soaked in oil and they have this flavor. So again, I always go dill because I love everything to taste like a pickle. But if you can add like garlic cloves in there and dill, and then it's really, really yummy. So if anyone else has anything they want to share that they've had success with, feel free to unmute yourself, or if you have questions, let us know. Go for it, Elizabeth.
So to get the benefits of the oils, I make a cereal just in a big ceramic bowl. So I'll add coconut milk, either still cut, tough, some sort of grain, organic applesauce, some sort of nut butter that's organic, and mix that up. And if it's still cut oats, I don't cook it on the stove. I just leave it there in the boil in the bowl, because the coconut milk and the applesauce, the water, the liquid, soak that all up. And then I'll add unsweetened coconut, which is, I like the flavor of coconut, plus it's a great fiber source. And then I add my clove, my cinnamon, all of the oils, the cinnamon, clove, ginger, and nutmeg. I mean, I add that to it, and then I just mix it, and I cover it with a cup towel, and I just leave it on the kitchen counter overnight. It doesn't need to be refrigerated. There's nothing in it that needs to be refrigerated. And by the morning, the grain is soft, and I've gotten all the benefits of the oils. And then that's my base. And so then I can put it in the refrigerator. But if I want to go ahead and add nuts, I can, or I can add different dried fruits, but that's a good base, and it lasts in the refrigerator for like a week. So that's a way I use my oils. I also make a completely grain-free muffin. I lose the benefits of the oils because I bake, but it's like eggs, baking soda, nut butter, mashed bananas, vanilla, and then whatever oils I want. And I bake them in a muffin tin, and it's nut butter and egg. I mean, it's all protein. And again, I can add nuts or dried fruit if I want to. And those, again, freeze really well, and they stay in the refrigerator well. So my younger son, every day he has a muffin, and he has a bowl of whatever cereal of the week it is. That's his breakfast. So that's how I use those types of oils. And I'll add orange and lemon to them too as well. I just kind of play with the oils that I have and kind of taste and go. So
I love it, Elizabeth. I think that is the moral of the story, right? Is to not be afraid to just play a little bit. I know Shelley's like the best at just being creative and experiencing all the flavors. So I think that's a really fun thing for us to share with each other, is what you're enjoying, so that someone else can, who's not as creative, can think of those ideas. So amazing. So thank you all for coming today. And